So, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Siege Deluxe Class Sideswipe. And I'm taking a look at this mold. I've already have technically one review of this up on my channel, which is the Kingdom version. But I wanted to talk about this mold again, and this is possibly the most standard Transformer to ever exist. This is the Transformer figure, in my opinion. This is the one. If you could own one, this would be the one. It's such a standard deluxe class figure. It's so very standard, and it's very simple to get. In fact, an upcoming re-release is happening slightly. It's a repaint and remold into the Armada Wheeljack, which definitely isn't Sideswipe. I don't know. They already used the name, so then they had to use another name. It just ended up so funny. But we have this guy here who is a little weird. I don't know if he's yellow. The plastic's always been a little off on the arms. It's always been a little weird. It might be a little yellow now, but it is a little strange as far as it goes. Very clean. No kibble, really. Very nice. I mean, he does look pretty solid. He doesn't really have a ton of accessories, though. Unfortunately, he has this giant missile thing, which isn't a full missile, because this can be a pistol. That's his gun. That's not a joke. That is his singular gun. You either get the complete missile, or you give him the pistol. The Kingdom one fixes this by giving him an actual weapon. So, there is that. He is Siege, so he does have a very small amount of the stuff on him, the kind of Siege dirt, which doesn't look bad here. It actually looks pretty good. It's only on his shins and kind of on like his crotch area, but that's it. And I mean, it makes sense to be on the legs, so I don't really mind it. It looks pretty solid on the legs, if I'm being honest. And I mean, everything about him is as box standard as it gets for a Sideswipe. Red Car Man. Very, you know, Sideswipe is my favorite Transformer. He is possibly the most generic Transformer of all time, though, at the same time. He just looks really solid, and the accessory here, I showed the other part, but this just pegs in using this thin peg. There's 2 slots up there on the shoulder, like so. He can hold it as well. It has a port on the back, so very handy. Covered in Siege ports, 2 per arm, 1 on the back, 1 on the feet, well, each foot. And yeah, he basically has all the stuff. There's also 1 on each leg. Pretty standard, box standard thing. Nothing too special. Head sculpt is Sideswipe. It's without a doubt Sideswipe. It's perfect. Everything about it is. I mean, the only complaint I have is kind of like these little love handles here, but that's it. Like, they're just kind of there. But that's the only complaint I have about him. That's it. His articulation, pretty solid. Ball joint in the head, forward and back, outward, swivel. That wasn't the swivel. There's the swivel. Elbow joint goes exactly 90. Wrist does not rotate, unfortunately. Rotation at the waist, forward, back, outward, knee joint, and an ankle tilt in that. So, standard, as everything else with this guy is. And I mean, that's basically the robot mode. So let's just get into the transformation, which is unbelievably simple. Like, it's so simplistic, I'm going to do it as fast as I feasibly can right now, because it is that simple. Describing this transformation is just, it's not necessary, in my opinion. It's a very simplistic transformation. Like, look at that. And that's the alt form. That's how quick it is to transform it. I don't think anyone would need instructions to figure this guy out. It's really, really easy, really standard, really quick, really nice to fiddle with. It's a very fiddly one. And the car you end up with is Cybertronian Sideswipe, since it's Siege. And yeah, I think it looks pretty solid. I mean, it kind of is like a base Lamborghini, which, yeah, that makes sense, considering that's what he turns into. And the remold of it, I do prefer the Kingdom one. I'm not going to lie to you, but this guy does look quite nice nonetheless. Some nice kind of gunmetal paint there on the sides. The windshield looks good. It's kind of one of those things you're probably not going to notice is like the gold silvery paint under there, which is nice. I think it is silver, but it kind of shows up gold because of the color of the plastic. It looks pretty nice. I do like that. It looks cool. It's a cool little effect. I love when they put the translucent plastic and then paint under it to give it that. It's very nice. Headlights are picked out. The Autobot badge remains. And there's no paint on the rest of it other than the tires and this little side bit here and these little intakes or whatever up there. It's nice. It rolls, kind of. There we are. See? It rolls. It's a good little car mode. And that's all I have to say, except for you can plug the gun on in a couple spots. Ta-da. But that's it. Already. 5 minutes. Wow. That's really quick. But for my final thoughts on Sideswipe here, I think he's, like I said, the most standard thing ever. He's box standard, no issues with him. There's no issues to be had. He's basically perfect. But is perfect too perfect? There's nothing to, like, comment about. His transformation is so simple and easy. You can flip him back and forth in a matter of seconds, as you just seen. Like, there's no tolerance issues. There's no nothing. There's nothing to complain about on my copy of the figure. He's just there. He's so basic and standard. He is the Transformer. The standard Transformer is this. This is possibly, like I said, the most generic standard box standard. If you don't own this as a Transformers fan, what are you doing figure of all time? You need at least one of these. I have 3 of them. 2 of them are Sideswipe, 1 of them is Red Alert. There's like 50 versions of this thing, especially this version. There's a ton of this version. There was so many in Siege. There was Tiger Track, there was Red Alert, there was another Red Alert, another Sideswipe, there was the black and blue one. I don't remember that one's name. Then the Kingdom one, there's the G2 repaint, there's Red Alert again. It's a whole thing. This guy is very readily available, and I'd recommend anyone own him. He's like a 5 out of 5, but I don't feel like I should give him a 5 out of 5. It's weird, but he is. He's just perfect. A little too perfect, in my opinion. Like I said, the only issue is that, and that's not even an issue to me. Like, I barely even noticed it. That was a nitpick when I pointed that out. That's a nitpick. Without those, I think he looked too skinny. It's so strange. It's such a mind-boggling figure. He is just a good figure, and everyone should own one. It's that simple. Anyway, that's been my review of Siege Sideswipe.